Chapter 2, Physical Features of India. You have already learned earlier that India is a vast country with varied landforms. What kind of terrain do you live in? If you live in the plains, you are familiar with the vast stretches of plain land. In contrast, if you live in hilly region, the rugged terrain with mountains and valleys are common features. In fact, our country has practically all major physical features of the earth, that is, mountains, plains, deserts, plateaus, and islands. The land of India displays great physical variation. Geologically, the peninsular plateau constitutes one of the ancient land masses on the earth's surface. It was supposed to be one of the most stable land blocks. The Himalayas and the northern plains are the most recent landforms. From the viewpoint of geology, Himalayan mountains form an unstable zone. The whole mountain system of Himalaya represents a very youthful topography with high peaks, deep valleys, and fast flowing rivers. The northern plains are formed of alluvial deposits. The peninsular plateau is composed of igneous and metamorphic rocks with gently rising hills and wide valleys. Major physiographic divisions. The physical features of India can be grouped under the following physiographic divisions: the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains, and the islands. The Himalayan mountains. The Himalayas, geologically young and structurally fold mountains, stretch over the northern borders of India. These mountain ranges run in a west to east direction from the Indus to the Brahmaputra. The Himalayas represent the loftiest and one of the most rugged mountain barriers of the world. They form an arc which covers a distance of about 2400 km. Their width varies from 400 km in Kashmir to 150 km in Arunachal Pradesh. The altitudinal variations are greater in the eastern half than those in the western half. The Himalaya consists of three parallel ranges in its longitudinal extent. A number of valleys lie between these ranges. The northernmost range is known as the Great or Inner Himalayas or the Himadri. It is the most continuous range consisting of the loftiest peaks with an average height of 6,000 meters. It contains all prominent Himalayan peaks. The folds of the Great Himalayas are asymmetrical in nature. The core of this part of Himalayas is composed of granite. It is perennially snowbound and a number of glaciers descend from this range. The range lying to the south of the Himadri forms the most rugged mountain system and is known as Himachal or Lesser Himalaya. The ranges are mainly composed of highly compressed and altered rocks. The altitude varies between 3,700 and 4,500 meters, and the average width is of 50 kilometers. While the Pirpanjal range forms the longest and the most important range, the Dauladhar and the Mahabharat ranges are also prominent ones. This range consists of the famous valley of Kashmir, the Khangra, and the Kullu Valley in Himachal Pradesh. This region is well known for its hill stations. The outermost range of Himalayas is called the Shivaliks. They extend over a width of 10 to 50 kilometer and have an altitude varying between 900 and 1100 meters. These ranges are composed of unconsolidated sediments brought down by the rivers from the main Himalayan ranges located further north. These valleys are covered with thick gravel and alluvium. The longitudinal valley lying between Lesser Himalaya and the Shivaliks are known as dunes. Dehradun, Kotli Dun, and Patli Dun are some of the well known dunes. Besides the longitudinal divisions, the Himalayas have been divided on the basis of regions from west to east. These deviations have been demarcated by river valleys. For example, the part of Himalayas lying between Indus and Satluj has been traditionally known as Punjab Himalaya, but it is also known regionally as Kashmir and Himachal Himalaya from west to east, respectively. The part of the Himalayas lying between Satluj and Kali rivers is known as Kumaon Himalayas. The Kali and Tista rivers demarcate the Nepal Himalayas, and the part lying between Tista and Dihang rivers is known as Assam Himalayas. There are regional names also in these broad categories. The Brahmaputra marks the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. Beyond the Dihang Gorge, the Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread along the eastern boundary of India. They are known as the Purvanchal or the Eastern Hills and Mountains. These hills running through the northeastern states are mostly composed of strong sandstones, which are sedimentary rocks. Covered with dense forests, they mostly run as parallel ranges and valleys. The Purvanchal comprises the Patkai Hills, the Naga Hills, the Manipur Hills, and the Mizo Hills. The Northern Plain. The Northern Plain has been formed by the interplay of the three major river systems, namely the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra, along with their tributaries. This plain is formed of alluvial soil. The deposition of alluvium in a vast basin lying at the sorry, foothills of the Himalaya over millions of years formed this fertile plain. It spreads over an area of 7 lakh square kilometer. The plain being about 2400 kilometer long and 240 to 320 kilometer broad is a densely populated physiographic division. With a rich soil cover combined with adequate water supply and favorable climate, it is agriculturally a productive part of India. The rivers coming from northern mountains are involved in depositional work. In the lower course, due to gentle slope, the velocity of the river decreases, which results in the formation of riverine islands. Do you know Majuli in the Brahmaputra river is the largest inhabited riverine island in the world? The rivers in their lower course split into numerous channels due to the deposition of silt. These channels are known as distributaries. The northern plain is broadly divided into three sections. The western part of the northern plain is referred to as the Punjab Plains, formed by the Indus and its tributaries. The larger part of this plain lies in Pakistan. The Indus and its tributaries, that is the Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas, and the Satluj, originate in the Himalaya. This section of the plain is dominated by the Doabs. Do you know Doab is made up of two words, Do meaning two and Ab meaning water. Similarly, Punjab is also made up of two words, Panj meaning five and Ab meaning water. The Ganga plain extends between Gagar and Teesta rivers. It is spread over the states of North India, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, partly Jharkhand, and West Bengal to its east. Particularly in Assam lies the Brahmaputra plain. The northern plains are generally described as flat land with no variations in its relief. It is not true. These vast plains also have diverse relief features. According to the variations in relief features, the northern plains can be divided into four regions. The rivers, after descending from the mountains, deposit pebbles in a narrow belt of about 8 to 16 kilometers in width, lying parallel to the slopes of the Shivaliks. It is known as Babar. All the streams disappear in this Babar belt. South of this belt, the streams and rivers re emerge and create a wet, swampy, and marshy region known as Terai. This was a thickly forested region full of wildlife. The forests have been cleared to create agricultural land and to settle migrants from Pakistan after partition. Dudhwal National Park is in this region. Dudhwal National Park. The largest part of the northern plain is formed of older alluvium. It lies above the floodplains of the rivers and presents a terrace like feature. This part is known as Bangar. The soil in this region contains calcareous deposits locally known as Kankar. The newer, younger deposits of the floodplains are called Khadar. They are renewed almost every year and so are fertile, thus ideal for intensive agriculture. The Peninsular Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau is a tableland composed of the old crystalline, igneous, and metamorphic rocks. It was formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land and thus making it a part of the oldest landmass. The plateau has broad and shallow valleys and rounded hills. This plateau consists of two broad divisions, namely the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. The part of the peninsular plateau lying to the north of the Narmada River, covering a major area of the Malwa Plateau, is known as the Central Highlands. The Vindhyan Range is bounded by the Satpura Range on the south and the Aravalis on the northwest. The further westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and rocky desert of Rajasthan. The flow of the rivers draining this region, namely the Chambal, the Sindh, the Betwa, and the Kane, is from southwest to northeast, thus indicating the slope. The central highlands are wider in the west but narrower in the east. The eastward extensions of this plateau are locally known as the Bundelkhand and Bagelkhand. The Chota Nagpur Plateau marks the further eastward extension drained by the Damodar River. The Deccan Plateau is a triangular landmass that lies to the south of the river Narmada. The Satpura range flanks its broad base in the north, while the Mahadev, the Kaimur Hills, and the Michael range form its eastern extensions. These hills and ranges in the Deccan Plateau is higher in the west and slopes gently eastwards. An extension of the plateau is also visible in the northeast, locally known as the Meghalaya Karbi Anglong Plateau and North Chachar Hills. It is separated by a fault from the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Three prominent hill ranges from west to the east are the Garo, the Khasi, and the Jaintia Hills. The Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats mark the western and the eastern edges of the Deccan Plateau, respectively. Western Ghats lie parallel to the western coast. They are continuous and can be crossed through passes only. The Thal, Bor, and Pal Ghats are in Western Ghats. The Western Ghats are higher than the Eastern Ghats. Their average elevation is 900 to 1600 meters as against 600 meters of the Eastern Ghats. The Eastern Ghats stretch from the Mahanadi Valley to the Nilgiris in the south. The Eastern Ghats are discontinuous and irregular and dissected by rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal. The Western Ghats cause orographic rain by facing the rain bearing moist winds to rise along the western slopes of the Ghats. The Western Ghats are known by different local names. The height of the Western Ghats progressively increases from north to south. The highest peaks include the Anaimudi, that is 2695 meters, and the Doda Beta, which is 2637 meters, Mahendragiri, which is 1501 meters, is the highest peak in the Eastern Ghats. Chevroy Hills and the Javadi Hills are located to the southeast of the Eastern Ghats. The famous hill stations of Udagamandalam, popularly known as Ooty, and the Kodaikanal are in Eastern Ghats. One of the distinct features of the peninsular plateau is the black soil area known as Deccan Trap. This is of volcanic origin, hence the rocks are igneous. Actually, these rocks have denuded over time and are responsible for the formation of black soil. The Aravali Hills lie on the western and northwestern margins of the peninsular plateau. These are highly eroded hills and are found as broken hills. They extend from Gujarat to Delhi in a southwest northeast direction. The Indian Desert. The Indian Desert lies towards the western margins of the Aravalli Hills. It is an undulating sandy plain covered with sand dunes. This region receives very low rainfall below 150 mm per year. It has arid climate with low vegetation cover. Streams appear during the rainy season. Soon after, they disappear into the sand as they do not have enough water to reach the sea. Luni is the only large river in this region. Barchans, that is, crescent shaped dunes, cover larger areas, but longitudinal dunes become more prominent near the Indo Pakistan boundary. If you visit Jaisalmer, you may go to see a group of Barkans. The coastal plains. The peninsular plateau is flanked by stretch of narrow coastal strips running along the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on the east. The western coast, sandwiched between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea, is a narrow plain. It consists of three sections. The northern part of the coast is called the Konkan, that is from Mumbai to Goa. The central stretch is called the Kannad Plain, while the southern stretch is referred to as the Malabar coast. The plains along the Bay of Bengal are wide and level. In the northern part, it is referred to as the northern Sirkar, while the southern part is known as the Coromandel coast. Large rivers such as the Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna, and the Kaveri have formed extensive delta on this coast. Lake Chilka is an important feature along the eastern coast. Do you know the Chilka Lake is the largest saltwater lake in India. It lies in the state of Odisha to the south of the Mahanadi Delta. The islands. You have already seen that India has a vast mainland. Besides this, the country has two groups of islands. The Lakshadweep Islands group lies close to the Malabar coast of Kerala. This group of islands is composed of small coral islands. Earlier they were known as Lakadiv, Minicoy, and Amindiv. In 1973, these were named as Lakshadweep. It covers small area of 32 square kilometer. Kavarati Island is the administrative headquarters of Lakshadweep. This island group has great diversity of flora and fauna. The Pitti Island, which is uninhabited, has a bird sanctuary. Now you see the elongated chain of islands located in the Bay of Bengal, extending from north to south. These are Andaman and Nicobar Islands. They are bigger in size and are more numerous and scattered. The entire group of islands is divided into two broad categories, the Andaman in the north and the Nicobar in the south. It is believed that these islands are an elevated portion of submarine mountains. These island groups are of great strategic importance for the country. There is great diversity of flora and fauna in this group of islands too. These islands lie close to equator and experience equatorial climate and has thick forest cover. Do you know India's only active volcano is found on Barren Island in Andaman and Nicobar group of islands? A detailed account of the different physiographic units highlights the unique features of each region. It would, however, be clear that each region complements the other and makes the country richer in its natural resources. The mountains are the major sources of water and forest wealth. The northern plains are the granaries of the country. They provide the base for early civilizations. The plateau is a storehouse of minerals which has played a crucial role in the industrialization of the country. The coastal region and island groups provide sites for fishing and port activities. Thus, the diverse physical features of the land have immense future possibilities of development. Now, about the corals. Coral polyps are short lived microscopic organisms which live in colonies. They flourish in shallow, mud free, and warm waters. They secrete calcium carbonate. The coral secretion and their skeletons from coral deposits in the form of reefs. They are mainly of three kinds: barrier reef, fringing reef, and atolls. The Great Barrier Reef of Australia is a good example of the first kind of coral reefs. Atolls are circular or horseshoe shaped coral reefs. Thank you.